October 5, 1937, Roosevelt's stand. Franklin Delano Roosevelt addressed a nation in Chicago with a speech that would mark a shift in American diplomatic tone. The address, later named the Quarantine Speech, warned that the world was at risk from an epidemic of world lawlessness. He did not name specific nations, but called on peace-loving countries to take steps to isolate aggressors through economic and political measures. Roosevelt framed aggression as a contagion that must be contained to protect the safety of the international order. The historical significance of that speech rests in its role as a precursor to the end of absolute isolationism in American foreign policy. In the mid-1930s, the United States had passed several neutrality acts that barred many forms of aid to warring states. The dominant political mood favored non-entanglement, avoidance of foreign wars, and strict neutrality. The Quarantine Speech challenged that orthodoxy by suggesting that the U.S. could no longer remain passive as dictatorial powers rose. Roosevelt suggested that the United States and other democracies could use non-military means to confront aggression without direct combat. Although the speech did not immediately change policy, it stimulated debate across the nation. Some critics accused Roosevelt of overstepping his authority or drifting toward war. Many Congress members and isolationist leaders reacted with alarm, worrying that advocacy of quarantine could lead to entanglement in foreign conflicts. Others praised the moral clarity of the address. The mixed reception demonstrated the tension in American society between interventionist and isolationist impulses in the pre-war era. Following the speech, Roosevelt moderated his tone. He did not press for immediate sanctions or military action. He accepted that congressional and popular resistance limited how far he could push. Within a few months, he shifted focus to international forums such as the Brussels IX Power Conference in late 1937, where delegates attempted to address Japanese expansionism in East Asia. Roosevelt's administration tried to use diplomacy, moral pressure, and embargoes rather than force. Over time, the quarantine idea helped lay the conceptual groundwork for Allied cooperation and for later U.S. leadership in World War II, though the U.S. did not fully abandon isolationism until the war's outbreak. In retrospect, the Quarantine Speech is historically important because it marked a moment when an American president publicly acknowledged that global aggression might demand collective response, even if that response would be indirect. It represented a bridge between the policy of non-involvement and the policy of engagement that would follow in the 1940s. Roosevelt did not offer clear operational plans in 1937, but his use of the quarantine metaphor introduced a new moral framing for American foreign policy. Over time, the speech has served as a touchstone for scholars considering the shift in U.S. strategy during the late 1930s. The Quarantine Speech's legacy includes its influence on later public discourse about intervention, collective security, and the limits of neutrality. It signaled that the United States could not remain entirely detached from global crises. It also revealed the constraints a president faces when public opinion and congressional power resist change. While the speech did not immediately reshape policy, it remained a key moment in the evolution of American engagement in world affairs. For enthusiasts of historical ephemera, visit history-collectors.com to find collectibles that might complement your collection. You can own a piece of history.